So prison really was just as bad in the 50s. Good to know. Welcome to the Daily Neitz, a daily look at classic films, modern cinema, and the world of professional wrestling. And today we're talking about the Shawshank Redemption. This is one that is interesting because it is on a lot of like top 10 lists. It is one of like the great movies of the past 30 years now. I almost said 20 years, but I think it's a bit older than that now. But it's interesting because it didn't get good like box office. It was well reviewed and it nominated for a bunch of Oscars, but nobody went to see it until it was like on home video and on TV a bunch. And I remember that. I remember like when I was a kid and flipping through the TV guide, and I would always see this movie, The Shawshank Redemption, on whatever it was, like TBS or TNT, and I would always go like, nope, that's 3 hours long. Where's X-Men or whatever? And so I never watched it until now. And it is a fantastic movie. I completely understand why it got the following it got, even though it got it, a few years after the initial release. I only wish that I was able to see it before I knew how it ended. I feel like I've grown up knowing that Andy Dufresne. Spoilers, by the way. I feel like I grew up knowing that Andy Dufresne, escapes through a tube of garbage. Human feces. I am not using the S word, but that's what it is. I know that that's how he gets out. I know that he and Red meet on a beach at the end, and he's working on a boat. I don't know why I knew that growing up and before seeing it, but I've always known it. But as the movie progresses, they make not even the slightest hint that he's planning an escape. Like they, at most, There's the only foreshadowing is when Red like looks at the hammer and he's like, oh, it's gonna take him like 800 years or whatever, 600 years to get out, to get through the walls.
It's a lot of camera angles.
Yeah.
There's a lot of focus paid to each of those posters.
Yes.
Which you only recognize it in retrospect, but at the time, like
even knowing how the film ends, I was looking for it and saw next to nothing. Like, it felt like I was watching it on like a second time through, knowing the ending. And just like giggling to myself at some of the little lines because I know what's going to happen. But it's so subtle and it hides that ending so well. And I think a part of that is because it's narrated not by Andy Dufresne, but by Red. And you don't see him on his own too often. You always see Andy with other people and as the other people are seeing him. And that's why there's like that mystery about it. And it reminds me a little bit of like The Usual Suspects, the reveal at the end. When it's like, it all comes together as, oh, this is what everything meant throughout the course of this film. And, like, I love that kind of reveal. It's been done to death now after, like, post-Shyamalan. But at the time, like, that's great. And it still works today, watching the film back today. It's like, I love that scene at the end when he's like, this is how he did it. I always love that stuff. But even if that wasn't there, I could, like, up until that point, the movie could have stood on its own without that ending. I'm glad it got the Disney hopeful everyone's happy ending, but the film still could have worked without it, and that's saying something about the strength of the film as a whole and not just the ending. It's not like The Usual Suspects where you rely on the ending to make it worthwhile, although I love that movie as well, or the Shyamalan movies where it's all about the twist at the end. This movie holds its own throughout the entire runtime. With these great scenes of dialogue and just charming moments, like when he's playing the music for everybody and he knows he's gonna get in trouble for it, but he does it anyway, and getting the guy's beer on the roof and he's not even drinking it. He's just like, here's some beer, guys, like, we're gonna do this. And it's great, and I love that. I think it works very, very well. Great movie. Morgan Freeman can narrate anything. He can. Like, the way the inflection and way he talks is so distinct that, like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but he just has like a very distinct way of saying his sentences that I love and is just charming and friendly, even though you don't know him, you feel like you do, and it's great. Just love him as the narrator / Red. And there is a fight happening outside. Someone outside's going to Shawshank. The police roll in. That was stupid. But yeah, great movie. Love it. Yeah, everything I expected it to be and more. Fantastic. That's all I gotta say about Shawshank. Tomorrow, we're gonna do something a little bit different. Something a little wee bit different. So come tune in tomorrow to see what that is. If you really want the immediate update, you can subscribe to this channel. Also like and share this. You can also follow me on Twitter at Daily Neitz, and leave a comment below if you want to. But yeah, until tomorrow, bye.